Hi everyone, and welcome to my first video in literally I think over a year. My name is Dietary and I'm a dietitian that focuses on manifestation but combining it with nutrition to get you lifelong optimal results. And as of recently, I just shared on TikTok my story of healing my reoccurring vaginal pH imbalances for the last 2 years, and it went viral. I've had lots of women messaging me asking me how I did it. They need help. They don't know what to do. Their doctor's not listening to them, and they're having with their boyfriend, and they keep getting it. So I was like, okay, clearly women need help with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a separate TikTok page for this, which I did. It's called Vag Healing Nutrition. And so on that page, I've been posting a lot about reoccurring vaginal infections, how you get them, the cause of them, just talking about different topics in relation to that. And I've already had 3 videos go viral, not even 3 actually, I think 4. I started that page 5 days ago, and I already have close to 200 followers. I have women messaging me, asking me to help them, questions, comments, concerns, all these things. I was like, okay, I'm gonna start making long form content on YouTube to give more details and to help the girls who need help with their reoccurring vaginal infections and pH. But before that, I'm going to share with you guys my own personal story when it comes to this. So I actually have had 2 separate episodes of 2-year-long reoccurring infections. The first time I dealt with this was when I was in college back in 2017. That was the ending of my freshman year. I was sexually active and I got my first ever vaginal infection, which was a yeast infection. And at the time, I didn't really know like what it was. I didn't know much about it or anything. I was just like, oh, okay, I have a yeast infection, I guess. I'll go to the doctor, whatever. I went to the doctor. They gave me medication for it, and the medication did not work. And so I kept going back to the doctor, getting medication, and the medications were not working. And mind you, this is my first ever vaginal infection, like at all. So I was just like, all right, I don't know what to do because my vagina is itching and I have work and I can't be at work with my vag itching. I also can't have with my vag itching, so I can't walk anywhere either. So I'm like, all right, this needs to, I don't know. So at that time, this was before I went to school for dietetics. So at this time, I was an undergrad I think I was studying like biology or something, I don't know, just like a regular, normal degree. And I didn't like I knew about nutrition, but only from the standpoint of learning from what my mom knows, because I'm West Indian, my mom's from Grenada, and so she was really into herbs. She wanted to be a dietitian growing up. So I knew about nutrition from that standpoint. It was more like herbs and using food to heal your body, things like that. So I was doing a lot of online research. I was looking up how to get rid of a yeast infection, like what should I eat, what to do, what to take. And I was doing all types of shit. Like I literally was putting things up there. Like I soaked the tampon in oregano oil and then with coconut oil, and then I would use that up there to stop the itching. I can't even remember, but I was doing so much, like just doing a lot just to try to get rid of it. But that was like years ago, so I don't really remember what I was doing, but literally nothing was working. And then this ended up turning into a 2-year long cycle of me dealing with reoccurring yeast infections. And it wasn't really, I only ever got, during that time period, I only ever got BV like once or twice. And I only ever got a UTI like once, I think. But it was mainly just yeast, like just yeast just taking over and literally destroying my fucking vagina. So I went for 2 years dealing with that, and I didn't know what to do about it. And the year 2019, January, I studied abroad in the Netherlands, and I stayed there for 6 months. And this is my first time in Europe. I really, really wanted to enjoy it. But I felt really, really depressed because I felt like, okay, I'm in a different country. I worked really, really hard to get here. I actually manifested the whole entire thing unintentionally. And I have a podcast episode on how I did that. And so January 2019, I'm like, okay, I'm in the Netherlands right now. I have to heal myself. Like I don't know what I need to do or where to start, but I need to do something to heal myself because this cannot keep going. I actually want to travel to different countries, enjoy my time, have a good experience, and not walk around feeling horrible down there. So I was on a birth control at the time. Hold on, there's flies that are bothering me. Okay, I had to go kill those flies, but I forgot where I left off. Um, but yeah, I basically wanted to heal myself, but I was really depressed at the time because I was also on a birth control that I feel like was really fucking with my hormones and my mood. And on top of that, I just felt really, really discouraged. I'm in a new country, but my vagina is literally on fucking fire and I can't really do what I want to do. So I was like, all right, I'm in a different country. Let me explore what resources they have. How are the grocery stores, things like that. So I started off with first at this time, I didn't know how to cook. So this is my first experience with cooking, being alone by myself in a different country where I had no one to cook for me. So I learned how to cook for myself. So I started off with just learning how to cook like proteins, vegetables, making smoothies, incorporating yogurt bowls, having a lot of herbal teas, adding lots of herbs to my water. And I was watching a lot of videos on YouTube by like Dr. Sebi and other holistic people that were herbalists and healers and things like that. So I was just listening to everyone talk about these things, and I was just literally taking every single advice that I was fucking getting. And the things I was doing at this point, I wouldn't recommend now. Like I was doing a lot of fasting, like water fast, smoothie fast, juice fast, detoxing, like all these things. And like I would never recommend any of that to anyone now because it's not necessary. It's also just not sustainable long term. It could be helpful, but anything could be helpful if you believe in it, right? Because our brain's job is to prove us right. So if we believe in what we're doing, it's going to work for us no matter what. So even if I don't agree with it, if you do it, whatever, that's your prerogative. I don't really care. But I just wouldn't do that again. So I was doing all these things, and for like 3 months straight, I was making myself sweat every day to detox my body. I was doing all this fasting. I was consuming a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruit, a lot of protein, a lot of herbs. I was taking like sea moss, black seed oil. I was putting cloves in my water, like doing all these things like consistently every single day. In the process, I did end up losing a lot of weight, but that wasn't even the point or the goal really. The main goal was getting my fucking vagina fixed. So I was just doing everything. And I was also doing, at that time, my parents were shipping me things from the States. And I found this girl on Instagram. I don't know her name, but she sells these, they're called Goddess Detox Pearls. And they're basically like these herbal pearls that you put in your vagina to help detox it. Spiritually, it's mainly like a spiritual thing, but it also can help with rebalancing your microbiome. It's herb-based, so it may not be science-backed. So if you're looking for science-backed information, my page is not going to really be for you because I combine both science-backed and woo-woo spiritual stuff because I'm all about manifestation, the universe, intuition, feminine energy healing, spirituality, all those things. So I'm not just a dietitian that's fully, oh, it's not backed by science. No, I believe in both the science and the non-science. And it doesn't matter either way. Like your belief system is what makes something work for you. If you believe it's going to work for you, it's going to work for you. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like science, yes, science plays a role. It can provide evidence, but how many things are science-backed that don't work for a lot of women, such as antibiotics, Metro, Flagyl, or Diflucan during that reoccurring vaginal infection? It's not working for you, right? And that's backed by science. Okay, so anyways, so I was doing the Goddess Detox Pearls, and it helped me a lot because I remember a lot of mucus coming out of my vagina and also a lot of shedding that was coming out. So I definitely contributed those pearls to a really pivotal role in my healing journey at that time. And by the 3rd month, so by March, I went to Spain, and I remember just feeling so horrible. Like I remember I had to wear jeans and no underwear on. My vagina was so inflamed. I tried finding, maybe I started this journey a little bit later now I'm thinking about it. I remember it took me 3 months. So I'm thinking maybe I started like, instead of January, I probably started like mid-February, end of February. But I remember having to go to this pharmacist in Spain and trying to translate to him that my vagina is on fire on Google Translate and I need something to help. And they gave me a cream. Of course, it did not fucking work, and that was that. But after Spain, that was in March, I remember in the Netherlands, it was a holiday called King's Day. And on King's Day, I couldn't go out anywhere. I was laying in bed on my stomach, not my stomach, on my back with my legs wide open, just crying. Literally just crying because my vagina was so like inflamed and was in so much pain. I was going to so many doctors while I was there and also back home, and no one knew what it was because at this point I wasn't even testing for yeast anymore. I was testing like negative for yeast. I was testing negative for yeast, BV, UTIs, all the regular swabs. I was testing negative for all of it. So I'm like, if I'm testing negative for all of these things, why is my vagina literally on fucking fire? And not even just my vagina at this point, it's also my ass. So like literally the whole area was just inflamed. Like it was so itchy. It was so like, it was burning all the time. I couldn't walk. I couldn't do anything. And I used to cry. I used to call my mom and cry. Like I was just so upset. I was like, I've never heard this happening to anyone before. I don't know why it's happening to me. Like, I was in full on victim mode because it was just horrible. Like it's one thing to have your vag itching you, but then to have your ass itching you also, like it was so much. It was literally like a traumatizing experience. And but I kept going with what I was doing. I was still eating healthy. I was still doing all these fasts, sweating every single day, going on runs. I was doing all these things. I kept going, I kept going, I kept going. Then May, everything started to get better. So if this was 3 months, May, April, March, I'm pretty sure I started in February. February, March, April, May. Yeah, I think I started my healing in February. So I kept going, I kept going. May, it finally started to stop. Like the itching started to stop, everything started to stop. And also, I forgot to mention this part. I found a doctor in the Netherlands that ended up telling me it wasn't a yeast infection I had. It was I think it was ureaplasma or mycoplasma. It was one of those. That was the infection that I had, which is a bacteria that's naturally found, but when it's overgrown, it can cause those infections. So no other doctor tested me for that. Like back in the States, it was in the Netherlands where I got that test and I was positive for it. So they treated me for it, but the antibiotics did not work. And anyways, so that's what I ended up having. And through the consistency of me eating healthy, drinking all these herbal waters, drinking all these smoothies, like really like just like all this detoxing and running and sweating all the time. And I cut out sugar completely. Like I was in Europe, so the chocolate's really good there. So I allowed myself to have a Milka chocolate bar every once in a while, but I would eat it in very small portions, like throughout the week. Like I wouldn't even eat like a quarter of a bar in a day. Like I cut out my sugar so severely. I was getting sugar from fruits and other natural sources, but like no desserts or anything like that. So by May, it finally got better. And I went to Italy and I went to Switzerland. Oh no, I went to Italy in May. Yeah, Italy. And I remember being able to walk around and I felt completely normal, felt completely fine. I was like, thank God. The next month, I was completely fine. I went to Swiss, France, Hungary, Slovakia, Czech Republic, other countries that I'm forgetting right now. And I was completely fine. And I was like, oh my God, I finally healed this infection after 2 years of being in absolute agony and hell over this stuff. If I had knew about manifestation back then, it wouldn't have even lasted that long anyways. But yeah, I finally healed myself and I felt so good to go. And that was 2019. So from 2019 up until 2023, I was just so happy, so grateful, living life. Everything was fine. Until the summer of 2023. 2023, August. I took a trip to Virginia with a friend, and at this time I was wearing really, really tight shorts, and at the time I also drink alcohol. I don't drink anymore. And that weekend I drank a lot of alcohol, and I also wore really tight shorts, and I got another yeast infection, and I was like, oh Lord. But I haven't had an infection since then, from what I can remember. And so I'm like, okay, it's been a while since I had an infection, so maybe I'll just take the medication, I'll be fine. Nope. This started a whole other 2-year cycle of me dealing with the reoccurring yeast infection. So not reoccurring yeast infection, reoccurring pH imbalances. And I say that for a reason. So at this time, 2023 was like my rock bottom year. Like this was the year I was in my first adulthood breakup and it wasn't like a toxic relationship, but it was a relationship where I knew I was not meant to be in because my partner was avoidant. I was anxiously attached, and I had to break up with that partner. And I had to ask myself, why do I keep attracting the same type of men who they're all different, but they're all emotionally unavailable? Like for the most part, they're all really nice. They're really, really kind. They're good people, but then they're just emotionally unavailable. That relationship like broke me down, not because of him, but because of me, because I had to face myself and figure out why this cycle keep happening. So that whole year started my spiritual awakening. It started my feminine energy healing. It started me getting into manifestation, learning about all these things. And during that year, I was going through a lot. I was dealing with that breakup. I was living in a really, really, really extremely stressful, toxic environment that eventually forced me to leave. And I had a job that I wasn't getting paid that much money at all, and I was commuting into the city, and I was only making like $600 per paycheck, and that was 2 years ago. Y'all know you cannot survive these days making $600 bi-weekly. Like that's fucking ridiculous. So I wasn't getting paid well at that job. I got another job. I wasn't really getting paid well either. I had to leave my home, stay with a friend for a few months, barely had any money, and I was just literally at complete rock bottom. Like had a complete breakdown. Like I was just so so stressed. Like I never had that much stress before in my life ever. And I just felt like I am lost. I don't know what to do. I don't know what's happening. I left my house. It was just so much going on at once. But ever since I was younger, I always, and I'm telling this for a reason, by the way. Ever since I was younger, I always knew I was going to be an entrepreneur. Like literally, and I remember in fourth grade, they asked us, "What do you want to be?" I was like either an entrepreneur or an archaeologist. I don't know about the archaeologist part, but I chose entrepreneur because I knew that they make their own money. So I always knew I was going to be rich. I literally always had this innate feeling in me that I was going to be rich. Like, even though I had a bunch of student loans, people always ask me, "Oh, what's your plan with that?" Whatever. I'm like, I don't know. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to be rich. Like, I'm going to pay that shit off. It's going to be no problem. Like, I don't care. So I always knew I was going to be rich. So I was like, all right, I need to take my business really serious, like forever from this point on. Because at that point, I didn't really have a business. I kind of knew what I wanted to do. It had to do with nutrition, obviously, because I'm a dietitian. And so I started just experimenting with different business things. And at this time, I was really stressed because I had no money. I was living with a friend. I needed to move out by the end of December because I moved in with her in October. So I had so much on my plate. And the reason why I mention this is because stress weakens your immune system. So when you are chronically stressed and you have high cortisol levels, you have a weakened immune system, which makes it harder for you to heal from things. And on top of that, you get sick more easily. So because I didn't have money or anything that could really help me, I wasn't really going to the doctor because I didn't have money for gas. And I also was just so stressed with so much other things trying to figure out my life that I didn't even want to go to the doctor's office. It was just too much because I was like, oh my God, they're going to give me medication. It's not going to work. It's going to make it worse. I had all these things like playing in my head from like the trauma I had from the last recurring infections. I was like, I'm just going to try to heal this naturally. So I tried healing it naturally for so long, even though it was basically impossible for me because I was so chronically stressed and I wasn't fully embodied in manifestation and how it works and a lot of assumption and all those things. So like I was wavering constantly and I was having these, and it wasn't a yeast infection anymore. It was just like pH imbalances. So I felt like my vagina was off, but I had no idea what was wrong because it didn't feel like a yeast infection. It didn't feel itchy. It didn't feel like overly inflamed or anything, but there was a weird odor that was off, weird discharge that was off, and just small things that were off that I knew something was off, but I didn't know what it was. I don't remember being sexually active at this point. I definitely was not because I was so fucking stressed. Like, I literally was not. So it couldn't have been that either. But yeah, basically, I was just stressed. I didn't go to the doctor, which, I mean, they wouldn't have helped me anyways because antibiotics and the diflucan just keeps disrupting your microbiome. So it would have been another vicious cycle. So I just didn't go. I felt like it was pointless. And on top of that, I was too stressed to even go. And I didn't have really money for gas to be driving that many places anyway. So I put my health on the back burner and really focused heavily on my business. Me focusing heavily on my business brought a lot of stress because I was in such a desperate, needy energy because I needed the money to survive that I did not have. And so that was putting more stress on me as well. So the next year, again, just dealing with a lot of stress back to back to back. I ended up manifesting $5,000, my dream apartment, and also a new job. The job I ended up hating, which caused me some stress. Quit that. I've always been a serial quitter, by the way. Like, that's another sign of an entrepreneur is that you don't stay anywhere where you don't want to be. You just fucking quit because you don't care. So quit that job, got another job, didn't like it even more, quit that. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try, being on my own, making my own money online. This decision at the time, I know why it happened now because it was definitely needed for me to learn how to be an entrepreneur, was probably like the worst decision I could have ever made in that year because ever since then, I was living in straight survival mode, like literally figuring out every day how I was going to get food, figuring out how I was going to pay for groceries. I was doing Instacart and DoorDash all day long from morning to night. In the middle of this, I'm trying to secret shop, make money from that. I'm trying to do focus groups, make money from that. I'm trying to make money online doing surveys and playing games. And I mean, literally, like I was doing anything and everything to make money. I was in straight, pure survival mode. And this caused even more stress on my body. So you guys, I told you, high cortisol leads to weakened immune system. So if I'm literally just surviving every single day, trying to figure out how I was going to eat, where I was going to get my food from, how I was going to pay my bills. I was behind on all my bills for months. I literally was behind on my rent. Thankfully, I had a friend at the time that was helping me pay my rent and didn't ask me to pay them back. So that was a huge blessing. But I was fucking stressed. I was so stressed. And because I was so like deep into law of attraction, not law of manifestation, law of assumption, law of attraction, I was like, I'm stressed, but I'm grateful and everything is fine, and I'm just grateful I have a place to live and everything's working out for me. But internally, my nervous system was fucking wrecked. I was like literally just so out of it, like just completely stressed. So I was dealing with those infections, the pH imbalances, didn't know what it was, didn't know what to do. And I ended up getting a new job, and that job I actually ended up really, really liking. There's another fly I need to kill. It's really distracting me. So this job was a blessing because it was my first job that I had in a while that I actually liked and helped to alleviate me of all the things that I was dealing with over the last few months. So because I finally had this job, I was able to actually catch up on bills, be able to afford things, pay for stuff, actually buy things, and all these things. So I finally had the money to take better care of myself. And I came across Evie, which is an online company that does at-home vaginal microbiome testing. And so I had saved it because I wanted to wait a little bit before getting it because I was still dealing with a lot. Like I was still catching up on stuff. There's just a lot going on. So I got the test with Evie eventually, like months later. I actually got it right now. Where are we in? Oh my gosh, June. I got my test with Evie in the beginning of May. So I ended up finally being able to get the test with Evie because I was just like, I need to get to the root cause of this guy. I know if I go to the doctor, they're going to either tell me it's nothing or they're going to give me medication that's not going to fucking work. So I ordered the online test with Evie. It came in the mail, and basically it requires you to do a swab, and then you send it back to the lab, and you get your results back within a week or whatever. And when I got the results back, and also I was still eating a lot healthier too. Like I mainly eat a whole food based diet. I cut out added sugar on March 10th for 30 days, and ever since I've been only having it in like really little amounts in moderation, but nothing in comparison to how I was before. I also stopped drinking alcohol about a year or two ago. I don't really remember how long ago that was, but my diet is primarily whole food based, very little to no added sugar, no alcohol. I wasn't really incorporating much probiotics at the time, but now I am. And just more fruits and vegetables. That's mainly how I eat. Everything is like high protein, high fiber, whole food, things like that. So I got the results back, and it basically told me that my vagina was primarily made up of disruptive bacteria and very little to no protective bacteria. Like my vagina literally had no protective bacteria. Like it was really, really, really low. And I had a dominant bacteria called Gardnerella vaginalis, which basically is a bacteria associated with BV symptoms, but is not categorized as BV. So on and off for 2 years, I was having pH imbalances where I was having like weird discharge, weird odor, weird symptoms, and feeling like something was off, and burning, irritation, and sensitivity that was not normal. And my vagina was really, really inflamed. Like it looked really, really pink like this. This is a hair roll, by the way. Really pink, like really red and inflamed. And so it told me that I basically had no protected bacteria, so no lactobacilli, and that I had a dominance of Gardnerella vaginalis, which is the bacteria that has the same symptoms as BV, but is not BV. So I was testing negative for BV. I was being put on antibiotics that were not working because it was not BV. And I also had some antibiotic resistance, which means that some of the bacteria in my vaginal microbiome formed what's called a biofilm. So biofilm is basically when bacteria or fungi want to protect themselves, they basically make like a sticky wall around them that makes it really hard or basically impossible for medications to permeate them, which means that they're basically like you can't kill them off, like they're just there thriving, living. So I had some bacteria that had a biofilm around it, which caused some antibiotic resistance. I also had a high amount of the Gardnerella and something else, but basically I was having like this bacterial infection that wasn't being tested for at the GYN because they don't test for that. And I was being put on antibiotics that don't work, which is why I wasn't really taking antibiotics. And so I finally got to the root cause of what was causing my pH to be imbalanced and to be weird. So at this point this year, I'm deep into manifestation. Like I know law of assumption like the back of my hand, law of attraction, all those things. I was already in the process of manifesting my vagina being back to normal, and a part of the manifestation process was this EVI test because I was finally able to afford it and get it done. And so for the whole year already, I was already listening to vaginal healing subliminals and affirmations. I actually have on my YouTube channel a vaginal healing playlist that has vag healing subliminals. I was already listening to those. I was making my own. I was listening to them. I was doing affirmations for my vagina every single day for my health in general. I would visualize myself being healthy and my vag being back to normal. So I was already in the mindset of, okay, once I get this test and do what they tell me to do, I'm going to be healed fast as fuck. Like, I'm not playing games. I'm not wasting any time. Like, this needs to stop. So I got the test, the results, whatever. So I already kept eating what I was eating, but Evie recommended a few things. So they want you to see a provider, which I didn't want to pay for because I'm a dietitian, so I already know how to eat on my own, and I also don't want to get advice on medication that I'm not going to take because I prefer to heal naturally. So I just skipped the Evie provider option. I did it myself. So they offered some basic recommendations like taking vitamin D3 to strengthen your immune system, which can help also obviously with your vaginal microbiome, taking lactoferrin, which is a form of an iron transporter that helps with increasing your iron, but also can help with your immunity. So if you are iron deficient and you're getting recurring vaginal infections, or if you're vitamin D deficient and you're getting recurring vaginal infections, you need to take your vitamin D and your iron. Lactoferrin is really important for that as well. And they also recommended one more thing, the lactoferrin, the vitamin D. Oh, I think it was a probiotic or something like that. I don't remember, but they recommended those. So I ordered those. But then I also put my test result into ChatGPT so that ChatGPT can interpret the results for me and give me a full 30-day protocol. I was like, I want my vagina healed in 30 days or less. These are my results. Tell me what to do. Tell me exactly what I need to do. So for me, this is me personally. These are my results. My protocol. Don't follow it just because I did it. You have to get a test first and see what's wrong with your vag before doing any type of thing like this. So for me, it told me in the morning I need to do a biofilm buster, I need to do glutamine, and I also need to do a probiotic. So I got a biofilm buster, I got L-glutamine, and then I also got 2 probiotics. I got the Gyrodophilis Vag probiotic, which I love that brand. It works really, really well. And I also got Garden of Life vaginal probiotics, so I was doing that every single morning. And then after breakfast, vitamin C and zinc to help with my immune system because my immune system obviously was suppressed from a long period of chronic stress. So I needed to get it back up so I can actually fight off infection. So vitamin C and zinc after that. Then around the midday, I would have another biofilm buster, and I would also have D3 and lactoferrin because those were recommended for healing the vaginal microbiome. And then at nighttime, I would do ginger turmeric shots just to help with inflammation and also just to help with immunity as well. All those things. And then 2 hours after dinner or after consuming anything at all, so 2 hours after the shots and dinner, I would take charcoal, which is a binder. So binder as in it binds to toxins in your body and excretes it out through your waste. So it binds onto the excess yeast and bacteria and all those things and takes it out of your body. So 2 hours after dinner, I would do charcoal. And so I was doing this for every single day. And literally on top of that, I was also eating really healthy, as you guys already know. I was consuming yogurt or kefir every day. Those are my 2 probiotic rotations, yogurt and kefir. I was also drinking a daily juice that my mom would make for me. I got the juice recipe off ChatGPT. It was basically unsweetened cranberry juice with oranges, pineapples, ginger, cucumber. I just typed in, give me a vaginal juice recipe, whatever, and that's what I did. Trying to think what else. And I was still continuing listening to my vaginal healing subliminals, incorporating my vaginal healing affirmations. Trying to think what else. Oh, and also ChatGPT recommended rotating nightly between boric acid and an intravaginal probiotic. So Evie has her own intravaginal probiotic, but I chose to go with Seed because I was familiar with Seed and wanted to try it because Seed uses a specific strain called L. crispatus, which has been shown to boost your vaginal immunity specifically. So I went with Seed intravaginal probiotic, and then I also got, what's that brand? It's like a really popular Azo, the Azo boric acid that has aloe vera in it. So it basically told me for 30 days to rotate between the boric acid and the Seed probiotic intravaginally. So I would do the Seed, and then on the days where I wasn't doing the Seed, I would do the boric acid. And I did this literally for a week, and all of my symptoms completely cleared up literally after a week. and I was on the 30-day protocol, and I still continued the protocol. Today is actually 1 month since I started the protocol. I started it on May 23rd. It's now June 23rd. So I actually released an update on TikTok of my 30-month update after the whole protocol. And I'm completely back to normal now. But after a week of me doing that, I was already back to normal because my mindset was already in, like, I am healed, I am healthy, like my vagina is back to normal, everything is fine. And so I healed literally within a week of me doing all those things. And it didn't take much effort for me because I was just mainly focused on my mindset. Because as you guys know from my channel on my page, manifestation is backed by science. It's neuroplasticity. It's called subconscious reprogramming. Your mind controls your body. So what your mind stores in regards to thoughts and beliefs is what's then reflected in your reality and also in your body. So if I have the deep belief that I'm always going to have these infections, I'm always going to be dealing with this, I'm so tired of this, I hate my vagina, I hate myself. I didn't say I hate myself, that was really extreme, but I was just really mad that I was dealing with it, and I was really, really angry at my vagina for, like, why is this happening? And so if I kept staying in that thought pattern and in that mindset, I was always going to continue having the infections, because you can't expect positive results with negative thinking. So because my mindset was in check with the subliminals, the affirmations, and I was also I was already in the nutrition, like, realm of things of eating healthy. Just adding those supplements, I knew was just going to be the answer. I deeply knew that once I took these, it was going to be gone. And literally within a week, it was gone. Something else I was also doing, of course, was prioritizing my hydration. So drinking a lot of, oh yeah, I also forgot this. I was also doing chlorophyll water every single day. So chlorophyll is the green pigment found in plants. If you don't eat enough vegetables, you can benefit from taking chlorophyll as a supplement, and it also helps as an internal deodorizer. So it gets rid of body odor and things like that. So I was adding chlorophyll to my water every day on top of a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, which that I've been doing for years anyway. So that wasn't anything extra, but that's just what I was doing also. And yeah, after a week, everything cleared up. And today was my 30-day update. And I looked at my vag with the mirror, and it was completely back to normal, like normal colors. So when it was really inflamed and dealing with the imbalances, it was like this color. And now it's like a very, very, very light pink, like just back to normal, like my slipper. Like, I don't think it's that light, but still, it's back to normal. I have no more itching, no more burning, no more irritation, no more feeling inflamed. I have no more odor, no more red discharge. Everything is completely back to normal. It's all because I did a test with Evie to get to the root cause instead of me just guessing and trying to figure out what's going to work for me, and then buying a bunch of things and it's not working, and then talking badly to myself about this is not working, all these things. So that is basically what I did to heal my vaginal microbiome in less than a week on a 30-day protocol. And Evie actually offered me my own affiliate link because I told them about my story. They watched my TikTok, they saw that it was viral, and so they really loved and resonated with my story. So I'm going to link my Evie link down below so you guys can get commission off if you wanted to order your own at-home test or any of their products. And I also got offered some other products as well from other companies. I'm going to be linking down below eventually, just waiting on the link to those things. But that's pretty much my story. And the main thing I want to talk about, not the main thing, but the last thing is your mindset. If you go to my videos on my page from like last year, I talked more about mindset. Your mindset when it comes to healing your body is the number one most important thing, because if your mindset has limiting thoughts and beliefs around I can't heal, it's impossible, my body is broken, my vag sucks, like I'll never be able to have sex again, like all these things, like you are literally creating your reality. You're manifesting that to happen because your internal world creates your external world. So we only see life from the lens in which we choose to see it. And our thoughts and beliefs are stored in our subconscious mind, which our subconscious mind's job is to prove us right through what's called confirmation bias, which is performed by the reticular activating system, which basically proves its job is to prove you right no matter what. So whether, like, regardless of whether you're having positive or negative thoughts or whether you're right or wrong, your brain's job is to prove you right. So if you have these thoughts, your brain's going to prove you right no matter what. So you're going to continue having the reoccurring infections. You're going to continue having these issues if you don't change your thoughts and your mindset. So write down every single negative thought and belief you have around your health, around your vagina, around your ability to heal. Write down every single thing. Like, write down every single thing that you're mad about and what you hate about yourself and your vagina, all those things, and turn those all into positive affirmations and say them to yourself every single day. You can use ChatGPT to help you put them into affirmation format. But recite these affirmations literally every single day. You can record yourself talking on the Parrot app, which is like an affirmation app that you can record things and listen to on a loop. So you can put your affirmations in the Parrot app and listen to it all day long, every day as you're sleeping as well. It's really, really vital while you're sleeping. And listen to vaginal health subliminals, which I have on my channel. So they basically have affirmations that are wired into them that rewire your subconscious mind. And visualize yourself being healthy every single day, because visualization creates reality. Everything that we have, everything you see in the background around me was once visualized in someone's mind, and it came into fruition because they've once visualized it. So if that's the case, then you can visualize anything and it can come true. So use your mind as a tool and don't use it against you. Think positive thoughts, visualize positive things, and visualize yourself being happy, healed, and whole. And I'm telling you guys, it has no choice but to work, because your brain's job is to prove you right no matter what. So it has to work. Like, this is not a matter of I hope it works, or I wish this works, or this won't work for me. No, like, I'm not special. Like, I'm literally just a normal person who's a dietitian that has nutrition knowledge, yes, but it's not like I have superpowers. I healed my vagina. I just use my mind, and I use nutrition, subconscious reprogramming, and I also use Evie to help me as well. So mindset is huge. If you need more help with mindset, you can also check out my podcast. It's also on my YouTube channel. I'm going to be posting more long form content on YouTube, so you can check that out as well. But I have a TikTok, it's called the Vag Healing Nutrition, and Vag is with a J. So I talk about this on there every single day. So you have a lot of free resources. I also have a free 8-hour overnight affirmation track for vaginal healing. So if you go to the link down below, you can press that and get your free overnight 8-hour track for that. And I think that's pretty much it for this video. So get your mindset in check. Make sure that your nutrition is in check. Don't just keep guessing what's wrong and then taking supplements and wasting your money. Get the test with Evie. It's between $148 to $220, depending on which one you get. But just save your money for that test, or just get the test. Don't keep doing all these extra things, and just get the test, figure out what's wrong, and then work from there. You can use ChatGPT, or you can use my program. I have a program called the Vag Reset Program, and it's basically a container of women who want to heal themselves, and I help them to do that through 1 month of voice note coaching. You get one-to-one, an individualized one-to-one nutrition plan and a manifestation plan for you on top of the voice note coaching for a month. You get to be in a community of other women also dealing with the same thing, and you have access to a weekly Q&A every Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time. So this whole program for right now is $200 since it's a new program. That's the special entry discount to get in. But after, I'm going to increase it to $400. So by the time you watch this, if it's long in the future, it may already be $400. But right now, it's $200. So get in while you can, because you're going to be getting nutrition advice, your own nutrition plan from me that tells you what to eat, how to eat, when to eat, helping you with your supplements, also giving you a manifestation plan, and then you also get the voice note coaching back and forth for a month. So you can message me anytime with a voice note of what's wrong, and I can help coach you through that. You also get the community group with other women going through the same thing as well, and you get the weekly Q&A on Fridays for extra support in case you want to ask any questions outside of the voice notes. So that's my whole entire coaching container, $200, literally, like, to only spend $200 and then to get rid of your recurring infections that people have been dealing with for a year, 2 years. I had someone tell me in my TikTok DM that they were dealing with it for 10 years. 10 fucking years. I think that is worth you spending $200 in order to get into the program and to heal yourself. So do what you want to do. You can go the free option and figure it out yourself, or you can join my program and have my guidance, because I did this twice. The first time it took me 3 months to heal. This time it took me a week. So, and it's because I used my mind. So your mind is very powerful. Use it and speak more positively to yourself. Eat healthier, have better sexual hygiene, have better womb and spiritual hygiene, so that not letting anyone just have sex with you or do those things with you. Make sure that it's sacred and that's trusted, and that you're not just, flinging out your punani everywhere. But that's basically what I did. So stay tuned for more upcoming videos on different things. And if you have any questions, want to talk about anything specific, drop your comments down below and let me know so I can make more videos on them. But for now, subscribe to the channel and share with any friends or family or whoever may need to see this. Thank you all for watching. Bye, guys.